Hello there, aspiring tennos. The clips you're about to see was from my live stream, and I know that you're not able to see some of the mods because, well, my giant face is in the way. However, I will leave a link down in the description where you'll be able to see all of the builds on Warframe, and that should also help you a lot to, be able to build it yourself if you wish to do so without having to go through the video over and over again. Anyways, enjoy. We're recording. Hopefully recording and streaming to 2 different platforms won't kill my computer. Anyways, hello there, aspiring tennos. Today we're here with Atlas, and you guys made me do this. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at this build, okay? This build, alright, it has reins because Atlas needs this, and without natural talent, this feels terrible because you have to cast 1 billion abilities in order to make this guy work. Need just a little bit of strength because guess what, that affects your base damage, and that's kind of an important detail. All right, then we have some adaptation for survivability, and we have rubble heap here for, well, because it's a really powerful augment, super strong, and you can see why. We're using brief respite because of course we're using brief respite, and then we have pretty much given up on duration. We don't really care that much about the combo between each punch because we will be spending a lot of time setting up the enemies with our second, which is our Breach Surge borrowed from Wisp, and our third, which is our Petrify. As well, we'll be using a primer, but I'll show you that in a second. Now, I've used Grace here. Don't use Grace. If anything, then go ahead and use Guardian, but there's a lot of options for this. Is basically a flex slot, but I think the build feels pretty terrible without Arcane Energize. You can't really use stuff like raids because, well, you're not gonna take any damage whenever you are either you're CCing the enemies using shield gates, or else you are unkillable because of your first ability giving you invulnerability when using that ability, right? So not gonna happen. But this one right here, it's just a saving grace. Could probably have used Rolling Guard as well, but that felt unnecessary to me. All right, then we have our new core here. And this is a pure support build. This is not built for damage. We're only running this to get our status effects on the enemy. Hence why we have 3 different status damage hybrid mods on here. So Toxin and Cold, and this gives us Viral. We want our 10 stacks of Viral in order to get that 3.5 times damage multiplier that stacks with everything. So it literally does 3.5 times more damage, and that's tough to compete with. We're also running a little bit of heat here because, well, it's heat, and running heat on this weapon will allow us to strip armor from the enemies. In case you don't know, as long as at least 1 stack of the heat status effect is on the enemy, their armor will be decreased over time by each tick. We're using a little bit of status duration as well because, again, this is all status. This is my go at it. This is definitely not meta, but I really like using this here as well. So remember to aim if you decide to add this mod. This here for reins, this goes for the side beams extending from the main target as well, which is why it's so powerful. And finally, a little bit of punch through. We're not going to be using this weapon very often. We're only going to pull it out quickly to get some status effects on the target. So it's a great idea for it to generate ammunition when we're not using it anyways, right? And of course, Galvanized Diffusion. You can also use Amalgam Diffusion if you want the darts roll speed. Personally, I don't care too much about that. We're not using Rolling Guard anyways, so it's probably going to be a little bit of overkill. Now, I'm using Darker Plasmo here, and this is just, this is not important at all. This is actually quite a terrible build, but I'm using it because I want primary dexterity. And the reason why I want that is a max primed out dexterity. First up, it's gonna give me holster speed, so I can pull out my new core to apply status effects faster. But also, I care very much so about the combo duration. All right, so that's pretty much all there is to that. Now, for our stat stick, I've decided to go with the Venka Prime because the Venka Prime, in case you don't know, have the ability to maintain 1 additional combo counter, and the damage of Atlas 1 scales off the mods, but it also scales off the combo counter. So this is just a straight up boost to the DPS. Now, the polarity, Riven polarity, not polarity, but the disposition, the Riven disposition on the Venka Prime is very low. So if you decide to get a Riven, don't get it for the Venka Prime. It's quite expensive and it's not going to help you that much. In that scenario, you want to go for something more like, I don't know, a terrible weapon that's never played. Dual Sword. Hello there, the Wizard, or Adam. Welcome to the stream. Hope that you are enjoying this quick highlight. Now, okay, let me just go ahead and show you how this build works once I've shown you the build here on the Venka, right? So remember, this is a stat stick. We are not modding the weapon. Well, we are, but we won't be using the weapon for all intents and purposes. We only care about these mods on our ability, which is the first ability of Atlas, which is basically a pseudo exalted weapon. So stuff like condition overload, which would otherwise do very well as we are likely to have at least 3 or 4 status types on the enemies at all times, is not going to do anything here because it does not work on Atlas' first ability. So we just care about a lot of damage and we care about critical chance. Hence why we have Sacrificial Steel, boosted even further by using Sacrificial Pressure. We have Fever Strike and Shocking Touch for corrosive, because in terms of just dealing damage, not the status effect, but the damage effect of corrosive is the best against the largest amount of enemies. So this is universally the most effective approach you're gonna have to that. Of course, our damage, more critical chance, and we're actually using heavy trauma, which it gives us a lot of impact. Now, if you'll see here, this weapon is slash heavy, and impact doesn't do anything for this weapon. That's because we're not modding the weapon, right? If we go back to Atlas here and we take a look at his first ability, he's 1, right? All impact. So this here will actually give us a separate, not from our elemental, but from our base damage, a 165% damage bonus. Okay, let's go and take a look at what this looks like in game. Now remember, you can make any Warframe viable if you really want to, but you're probably gonna have varying levels of success. Let's go ahead and jump in. I don't want to be in public because I feel like any person running a, you know, proper build, and by that I mean like the meta, it's gonna, you know, my setup is gonna look horrible if we do that. Now, running it in isolation, you guys might be really impressed. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I shouldn't toot my own horn yet. Also, by the way, I'm running basic generic energizing dash for power because, well, that's all we need. Hello there, Ando, welcome. We're just having some fun with Atlas here. We need to build up our combo counter before we're really gonna see any success, so please bear with me for a minute. I mean, it already isn't terrible, but we definitely need that combo counter. Also, by the way, with our augment, once we have at least 1400 rubble armor, our first ability is free to cast. So our main DPS ability is literally gonna be free, which is quite nice, not gonna lie. Of course, this means that we'll have to cast our third ability once in a while instead, but I feel like we can learn to live with that, right? So yeah, this is Atlas at his best. Well, kind of. You can of course get a Riven if you really want to take it to the next level, and that will make a pretty huge difference, as Rivens on stat sticks does. But I really didn't feel like spending precious resources on buying a Riven for Atlas. I hope you can forgive me for that. It might have been the meta 10 years ago, but come on, like, we're living in the 21st century. So, you know, pick up your keyboards and your mouse and get to work. All right, here's our Acolyte. There we go. That was really difficult. But again, Acolytes, not difficult. Okay, can we just agree? So that is the Atlas build, and you know, it's great and all. Have fun. So this is my fashion, as you can tell. Beautiful, very fitting for this powerful Warframe and all. Welcome, Liam. It's one of YouTube's. So yeah, if you want to copy the settings I have here, This is the animation. This is the attachments. And this is my Saindana. This one here from the cancer event, obviously. And also from sigils, I'm using the Kitia. And on the front sigil, well, you can see it, it's this one. And the back sigil, it's this other one, again from the cancer event we had earlier this year. Now, that was great, wasn't it? Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing, it helps out the channel a lot. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers at the end of the year, and your support is greatly appreciated. Anyways, I look forward to seeing you in the next one.